by the Harland and Wolff Company in Belfast, Ireland. It cost $7.5 million, and more than 15,000 men worked on it. It took over 3 years to build, and it was the largest moving object of its time. On the launch day, it launched on April 10, 1912, with 2,229 people on board. 1,600 people were approximately all of them on board. They made a few stops before they left for New York City, last port being Queenstown, and then they set out across the Atlantic Ocean. And this is a picture of the boat when it was leaving the port. It actually displaced so much water that it pulled a tugboat into it, and it almost never made it out of port. On days 2 and 3 of the voyage, they were moving at a very fast pace because they were able to keep the ship at full steam because it was so clear out. They didn't have any icebergs, no issues. They kept on going for New York. They were actually planning on being there ahead of schedule. They'd already printed up the newspapers. Actually, the newspapers came out the night before, like 2 hours before they were putting out the newspapers that it had already collapsed. They had already sent out newspapers that it was coming ahead of schedule. And then they had to take us back out of all of them. The days that were such good weather gave the people opportunities to enjoy all the amenities that they had on the ship, like the swimming pool, Turkish baths, gymnasium. Everybody knows how marvelous the ship was. Day 4 is where the issues start. On April 14, 1912, at about 9:40 p.m., the last warnings of the iceberg came in. These warnings never made it out of the wireless room, though. Everybody thought they were fine. It was still clear out. Nobody cared. Around 11:40, they saw iceberg straight ahead. They had 15 seconds to act before they got there. The boat curved, but sideswiped the iceberg. And actually, if the boat would have hit the iceberg head-on, it would have never stopped. The boat was able to stay afloat if it had, because it had 16 watertight compartments. It was able to stay afloat if it had up to 4 that filled with water. 6 got flooded. So that's why the boat split. On day 5, at 12:05 p.m. or 12:05 a.m., they started preparing the boats to launch. On April 15, 1912, at 2:18 a.m., the boat snaps in half, and by 2:20, the ship sank. Around the next morning, around 4 o'clock, they started picking up survivors, but by then there's not many left. You can't survive more than 20 minutes in those big waters. The survivors, there was roughly 1,316 passengers. Only 495 of actual passengers survived. There was 913 crew members and only 215 people survived. So roughly a fourth of the people survived on the boat. They didn't carry enough lifeboats at the time for all the people on board because ships were able to pass certain codes and certain standards and were rewarded with only having to have a certain number of lifeboats on board. They were allowed to have less because they were so safe. Here's some facts about the wreckage site. The wreckage site was discovered on April 1st, 1885 by Robert Ballard. It was about 40 miles off the coast of Newfoundland. The boat was traveling at 26 miles per hour, so if they could have stayed afloat for less than 2 more hours, they'd been fine. They could have swam to shore. It stretched over a 3 by 5 mile area because the boat split in half, so the boats are in two totally different areas. This is a picture of one half of the boat. The site is roped off because there's so many dead bodies there. There's roughly 1,500 people that they didn't recover. They went back to recover more people, and they only recovered about 70 people that night that they went back. The chart that I had came from history.net. There's not really a for sure number of passengers and crew members. Every source tells you differently. They vary by 200 people. You never know, especially in 1912. They didn't keep very good information. Plus, you don't know so many lower class people sneaking a boat, crew members hiding people, everything. And then 100 unsinkable facts came all the detailed information of the times. The boat only took 2 hours to sink. But cruise ships sink all the time. Nobody really thinks about it, but they happen. And when they do, most of the time there's nothing you can do about it. At least now they've made it to where radios can't be turned off. They had issues with the sinking because of it. And they actually had issues where they used light SOS signals, and they thought it was glares off the ship. And there was actually a boat within 5 miles of it, and they were actually signaling back and forth, but they didn't think that they were signaling each other. They thought that it was just flashes of the light in the water.